All right, welcome back, everybody. Yard by Yard, episode 45, Picks and Preview Pod. We got a good week. We got a really good week of NFL. I have 6 NFL games and I'm picking on my schedule. And I've got 3 college football games. Let's get right into it because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so this might be a quicker episode. Everybody's feeling bad with the weather change. All right, time change is messing me up too. You got me, I'm all out of whack right now. Okay, I'll tell you that I'm all out of whack. First college game, Notre Dame, 11.5 point favorite at Pitt. Over under is 55.5. This is the game day game. Confused why this is the game day game. I think it's just because they have Pat McAfee, and guess who's probably going to be the guest picker? It's probably going to be Pat McAfee. Oh, let me take my shirt off. All this. No, he's annoying. We all know he's annoying. He does too much. He does dial it back, bro. Every single time you do the kick, you shouldn't have 2 kicks. Makes it not special anymore. All right. Anyways, they are now a 12.5 point favorite, and then I look at it. Notre Dame 12.5 point favorite. You have CJ Carr coming in, throwing for 2,200 yards on the season, 19 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Jeremiah Love has been playing a Heisman level this year. He's got 13 touchdowns with 988 yards. He's going to hit the 1,000-yard mark this game for sure. Rushed the ball 154 yards, and Jordan Faison has been really good too. 43 receptions with 3 touchdowns on 545 yards. But my biggest thing about this game is Pittsburgh has really been playing well as of late. They've got some good wins as of late. They're playing a lot better. Wins against Florida State, Syracuse, North Carolina State, and Stanford. And they've been scoring over 30 points in each and every single one of these games. So their offense is really humming. Ever since that loss against Louisville, they really have found something here. Have been playing really well. I am here. I'm pretty big here on Notre Dame. I think they're going to win this game, but I think Pitt will cover this. I think 12.5 is just way too much for this Notre Dame team who, defense is playing a little bit better. They have really good offense. Defense is playing a little bit better. Is this Notre Dame defense going to do enough to cover that spread? I don't think they will, and I think that's mainly just because of how high the spread is. I think 12.5 is a lot. I'm going with the safe bet here, and I'm going to take Pittsburgh here at plus 12.5. But look, I mean, if you're some of these teams that are outside looking in the playoffs, teams that just need a few breaks to go your way to get in, a team like BYU now, who's now on the outside looking in, a team like Texas or Oklahoma, a team like Vanderbilt, this is the type of win. A team like USC as well. This is the type of loss that you are wanting Notre Dame to have. They lose this game, they're out. They're out. They are fully out of the playoff picture. Pitt, as well, puts themselves fully into the playoff picture here with this win, and you put yourself in that ACC championship spot as well. And if you win that ACC championship, you can make your way to be into this game. You just have to be better than Florida State, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's another team that's not getting talked about a lot that I think is going to end up making the playoffs. So it's going to be a really interesting game if they lose. If they lose, this is going to be, all chaos is going to break loose. All the conversations are going to happen. It's going to be very crazy to see what happens. But I got Notre Dame winning this one, but I got Pitt covering that spread. Next game, Oklahoma at Bama. Bama right now, I believe, is a 6-point favorite. Let me pull it up right here. Bama is a 6-point favorite. The over-under is 45.5. Obviously, John Mateer, I think, is the biggest part of this game for Oklahoma. The Oklahoma's defense has been playing really well this year, but ever since that hand injury, John Mateer has been playing very inconsistent. And I think the reason why he's been playing inconsistent is because he came back way too early. He did not come back 100%. I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. I think most of the world would agree with me on that. And you've been able to see he's not himself. Now, running the ball, he's been great. But throwing the ball, it's been an issue for him. Satanga has been, the best receiver on this team for this Oklahoma offense. He's got 5 touchdowns on 49 catches, 692 yards. He's playing really well. But on the other side of the ball, you have Alabama, who is playing as good as anyone in all of college football right now. I said they're one of the top 3 teams in the entire college football. I would maybe put them better than Texas A&M just because of how I think of how good that Ty Simpson is playing right now. I think Ty Simpson is playing at a really high level. He's thrown for 2,400 yards this season, 21 touchdowns, and one interception. And Jeremy Bernard working himself into a potential first round draft pick at wide receiver has 6 touchdowns on 41 catches and 600 yards, playing really good as well. This is just going to come down to the defense of Oklahoma. Are you going to be able to hold this Alabama offense, you know, to under 20 points? If you can do that and you get production from your offense and you get production from John Mateer, and if we get good John Mateer, if we get a John Mateer who is playing lights out, throwing the ball around, making deep throws like we saw earlier in the season, then that is really good for this Oklahoma team, and they can go into Bryant-Denny and win this game. But if he's not playing exceptionally well, and that defense just can't hold on for that long, this Alabama team is going to break through, and they'll win this game. I think Alabama's winning this game. I don't think they're covering the spread. I think 6 is a good bit of points for this game. I think the Oklahoma defense is really good, and I think they're going to hold them within that 6 points. I don't think Oklahoma's going to win, and I think a lot of that in my prediction is just going to be John Mateer. I don't think John Mateer is going to have enough to be able to go into Bryant-Denny and win this game. Now, I hope I'm wrong, because I would like to see Oklahoma in the playoffs, because this is all Oklahoma needs to do: win this game, then you win out, and you are in the playoffs. So I would like to see that happen. I don't know if it will, though. I don't know if it will. And I just don't have the trust in John Mateer right now that I had earlier in the season. So I've got Bama winning this one, but Oklahoma covering that spread. All right, next is Texas at Georgia. Texas at Georgia. Georgia -6. Over under is 48.5. I love Texas in this. I think Texas has turned a corner. I think, we see that Arch joke about the concussion helping him a lot, and I think it really has. I think that their offense looks way more in sync. Their defense, the defense has been playing well all season, but it hasn't really been getting the talk because the offense hasn't been great. But the defense has been playing really good all season. But your big issue is now you're going into Georgia, okay? This is one of the toughest places to play in all of college football. It's a night game. It's going to be rowdy. I mean, shoot, this should have been game day. It's another test for Arch Manning. We've seen he has not been great on the road, especially in that Florida game and Ohio State. Is he going to be able to have enough in this game to play out of his mind and go in and upset a Georgia team who, look, in the past couple weeks, they've been looking really good. I mean, they beat the shit out of Mississippi State last week, but I'm still not convinced that this is old Georgia. We see glimpses of old Georgia where they can just beat the shit out of you and knock you down, but I am not totally confident that I still put all my faith and trust into this Georgia team. I mean, that one loss they had, they just didn't look good. They didn't. Against Alabama in a game where, you're trying to fight back and everything. But I'm feeling something about Texas where I have a feeling this Texas team has turned a corner. And I have a feeling that this Texas team is going to maybe make a run. I think Arch is turning a corner. The defense is playing really good. Ryan Wingo's been playing really well as well. Just get the ball to him in space. He's going to be okay. Wisner has been exceptional all year, and he's playing good too. But the defense for Texas is also really good as well. I mean, they rank second in the league in rushing yards allowed with 78 points. 78 yards per game. And defensively, they rank 11th, allowing only 16 per game on average. So this is going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a bigger test for Georgia than it is for Texas because we have a Texas team that is coming in hot against a Georgia team who can play, really good football. So I don't know. I'm tough on this one. It's the same situation with Oklahoma. I want to take Texas to cover the spread, but Georgia to win. But I also can see Texas winning. Fuck it. I'm going to take Texas to win this game. I think Texas is going to win this game. I think they're going to beat Georgia. We're going to see a Georgia team who I think Texas is going to surprise them. And I think more importantly so, that Texas defense is going to play really good as well. And I think we might see some of the bad Gunnar Stockton in this game too. Let's not forget, we've been seeing inconsistencies at times in the wins that Georgia's had. So don't be surprised if we see those inconsistencies again. All right, that is the rest of the college. Now we go to the NFL. We got 6 games. The NFL starting out with the noon slate. Bucks at Bills. Bills are a 5.5-point favorite. In Buffalo, over-unders 48.5. I look, these are two teams that are not going in good directions. Two teams that are not playing the type of football that they want to be playing. Obviously, they both aren't playing great at all. Defensively, they aren't playing great either. It's both these teams are kind of mirror images of each other. Teams that started off the season playing really hot and look like some of the best teams, but then when they lose really bad. Their losses do not look good. I mean, losing to the Dolphins last week in the just got some in my throat. Losing the Dolphins last week in the Bills, that is an embarrassing loss for your team. And then for the Buccaneers, your offense doesn't really look like it's in sync here with Baker Mayfield, and you're still dealing with the injuries. I think they're working to get Bucky Irving back this week, which would be huge for them because Rachaad White's good, but he's not Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving provides another aspect to your offense where you don't really have to worry about the physicality in that run game. Sean Tucker and Rachaad White are not those guys that you can rely on. Bucky Irving is really good. I think the key to this game for the Bills to win is defense. Get your offense back in sync. I don't think that's going to be an issue getting it back in sync. The one problem you do have is Dalton Kincaid is hurt now. I know his status is questionable for this game, but if you can feel confident that your defense can go out and get a stop against this Buccaneers team that, look, when they need to, and if they're hitting everything right, they can score in a hurry. So it's another big test for this entire team of the Buffalo Bills to, go out and show what you're made of on the defensive side of the ball. Because if you're a team that wants to be going back to the AFC Championship like we've seen the Chiefs do in the past couple of years, you have to be able to stop the ball and play some defense because that is not what you've been able to do as of late. You got to play better. You got to play better. Baker Mayfield, he's been playing great this year, except for the past couple of games. And all it takes is just one game and a couple of throws for him to get right back on track, and he could be playing out of his mind here. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win this game. I think the Buccaneers are just going through a little skid, and I think the Bills' defense is just broken. I really think it is. It's the running game that's really going to affect him here, and the secondary is not great. You got Maxwell Harrison back in the secondary, your first-round pick, but that's not saving everything. That's not fixing everything. Your defense is still not great. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers here. All right. Chargers -3 at Jaguars. Man, this is one of those trap games because you see the Jaguars lose the way they did. Sorry, I'm putting my picks in. I forgot to not put in my picks. Supposed to read a rabbit. Supposed to pull a rabbit out of a hat, kind of pick games, pick winners for my pick 'em, and it didn't happen because shout out John Wilson. You didn't get me the names in time. I would have done it, John. That's sad. That's sad, John. But yeah, I'm making my picks right now. So Jaguars are a 3-point underdog at home against the Chargers, over under 43.5. This game screams Jaguars to me. You guys know I've been a big Jaguars fan this entire season, but this is just one of those games after a big Sunday Night Football win for the Chargers. You're traveling across the country. You're playing on the East Coast at noon in Jacksonville. I think this Jacksonville team is good. They've been playing good football at times, but it's times like last week where you scratch your head like, what the fuck are these guys doing? So I'm with the Jaguars here. I think the Jaguars are going to win this game outright. I love this over here at 43.5. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Both these teams don't play very consistent defense. I mean, yeah, the Chargers have some talent up front, but in the secondary, they really just have Derwin James And that's not enough for me to feel confident that they can, hold this Jaguars team, who we have seen been able to score at will a lot, you know, play well. The big issue that the Jaguars do have is Travis Hunter is now out for the season with the surgery, and Brian Thomas Jr. has been banged up as well. We're going to see what's going to happen with Jacoby Myers as well too. Jacoby Myers might make an impact now since being traded over. Parker Washington has also stepped up in the absence of both of those you know, young wide receivers, and he's been playing well too. So, but what you got to get going here, I think, for the Jaguars is the running game because Liam Cohen runs that kind of Sean McVay offense that if you can't get the running game going, the passing game isn't going to do anything. So we need to see a little bit more of Trevor or Travis Etienne here, and then I'm going to feel a little bit better. But I'm going with the Jaguars here. I think the Jaguars win this game, and I'm high on the Jaguars. Everybody knows I am. I love the Jaguars. I like Trevor Lawrence. I like Liam Cohen. And I just need the Chargers to lose some more, too, so the Broncos can feel better. All right. Bears at Vikings. Vikings are a 3-point favorite, over under 48.5. Give me the Bears. I am all over the Bears. Look, we keep let's not forget what this Bears defense did to JJ McCarthy for 3 quarters in the first game of the season. They shut him down and then they collapse in the fourth quarter. I think this is going to be a game that the Bears defense is going to, be like, let's not let this shit happen again. We had this young quarterback in our hands and we let him go and he won the game for the team in our home stadium. Now we're going to Minnesota. We can win this game. And not only has the Bears defense been playing great, especially when they cause turnovers, they are winning at a higher rate and have a higher success rate of getting to the quarterback as well and creating more of those turnovers. I am huge on Caleb Williams and this Bears offense. I love Caleb Williams. I love, um, Johnson. Ben Johnson. Why couldn't I say his name? I think this offense is humming. I think, they need to get DJ Moore involved more. They need to get him involved. And speaking of Moore, where's DJ Moore? Get DJ Moore going too. We all know the type of player that DJ Moore is when he is playing at his best. Throw the ball to him more. Now I know there's been some drops out there that haven't been great, but when you look at the Bears offense as a whole, the last couple of weeks on this winning streak, they have been playing really well. You had the game against the Ravens that you lost. That wasn't great, but other than that, this offense has been playing really well, and and Caleb, more importantly, seems just more comfortable in this offense. It's going to be a tough game this weekend going up against a Brian Flores defense that really knows how to play football, really plays, crazy football, crazy defense, where he is showing you one scheme, and then at the last second before the snap, he's going to send the house or he's going to drop everybody, totally confusing you. And you need to see good O-line play from the Bears here to be able to, hold up for Caleb, because when he has the time, he's hitting receivers in stride. It's when he's rolling out way too much, trying to make way too much happen in the pocket, that a lot of those mistakes happen. So I'm interested to see here how, the offensive line for the Bears that they went out and paid all this money for in the offseason is able to go up against the defensive line and just the defensive front for the Vikings. I think they'll be able to do well, and I got the Bears winning this game. Next game, honestly, there's multiple games of the week this week, but I think this one is the game of the week. Seahawks at Rams. Rams are a 3-point favorite. Over-under is 48.5. I've been going against the Rams in the past couple of games, and it's been biting me in the ass. It's not hitting. They're not losing. Matthew Stafford is playing at an MVP level. Kyron Williams is playing out of his mind. Now you get Devontae Adams, who's hurt, got a little oblique injury, and he's been playing great too when he's healthy. But you also have Puka Nacua, who is one of the best wide receivers in the entire league on the other side of the field at wide receiver. He's still incredible. So this team is loaded. This team on the defensive side, too, with Byron Young and Jared Verse and Braden Fisk up front, are all just incredible on the defensive side of the ball. The one situation where I think that we're going to see a weakness of the Rams get shown this week is at the secondary. You have Emmanuel Forbes there starting in the secondary, and I don't think Emmanuel Forbes is going to do well against Jackson Smith Njigba. He is the best receiver statistically in the entire league this year. He's got 1,000 yards on 5 touchdowns with 63 receptions. And all that's coming from a guy in Sam Darnold who has been playing lights out, who has himself a potential MVP candidate as well if his team can keep playing this well. And if he can keep having the same production, he's thrown for 2,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. Now, who's playing better than him? Matthew Stafford, who's thrown for 2,400 yards, 25 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. This is going to be an incredible game. I'm so excited to watch this game. I'm going to sit there with an Eat Seas sandwich in my hand, and I'm going to watch this game and see how incredible both of these teams are playing. I'm very excited to see, mainly on the defensive side of the ball, the matchup because both these offenses play really well too, but both these defenses play an insane level of football. I mean, in rushing yards allowed, the Seahawks only average about 90 per game, right? And in points allowed, both these teams are in the top 5. The Seahawks at 5th, averaging about 19 a game, and the Rams at 2nd with 17 per game. This is going to be a great game. I cannot stress enough how much fun this game is going to be watching. I think we're going to look back and this is going to be one of the best games of the year, possibly the best game of the year. I'm taking the Seahawks. The Seahawks, to me, are on fire. The Seahawks, I know they haven't played great teams the past couple weeks, but you can't look at the run that Sam Darnold is on right now and tell me that he's not playing at an elite level, because he is. And it's not just him, it's the team. This Leonard Williams in the middle of the defensive line, he's playing his ass off. This team, Josh Jobe on the outside, Tariq Woolen, Devon Witherspoon, this defense of the Seattle Seahawks is nasty. They're a good team. This team is like scary good. I'm taking the Seahawks in this game. All right. Second to last game. Chiefs -3.5 at Broncos. I'm going to make this short because everybody's heard me talk about it. I mean, this is the game of the year for the Broncos. You have to win this game. You have to. You have the Chiefs at home. You are on a 7-game winning streak. You got to get it figured out. You have to. We talk about this offense. I've talked about it multiple times, how inconsistent they have been. And now you lose J.K. Dobbins for this game. He's most likely not going to play. Got a bad foot injury from that hip drop tackle last week that shouldn't get called. Either call it or get that flag out of football. Like, why do we make it a penalty if it's not going to get called? I see about 8 of those a game in every single game I watch, and it never gets called. Okay, you NFL, you said you're going to do it to help the safety of the league. Well, it keeps happening. You're not doing anything about it, okay? Little side tangent right there. Look, the Chiefs are playing hotter than anybody right now. You had the game, before the bye week against the Bills where they didn't play their best, right? Are they on fraud watch? I'm still not going to go that way because it's still the Chiefs, and I know what the Chiefs can do. I know how good they can get in a hurry, win games when they need to. The defense can step up and play good as well, but this Broncos defense keeps us in games, right? The Broncos defense keeps the Broncos winning these games, and it's been the main reason the past couple of games. The only 2 games where I can point to and say, during this win streak, why the Broncos defense has been so well. I mean, the Broncos offense has played really good. Is the Bengals game, horrible defense, and the Cowboys game, horrible defense. So against all right and mediocre defenses, the Broncos offense has not played to the exceptional level that it should. And a lot of this is with the play calling, but I think lately a lot of this has been with Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been very inconsistent as of late. It seems like he's playing rushed. Seems like he's nervous. It seems like he's not setting his feet on his throws. And look, there have been a lot of drops out there. I will say that. There have been a lot of drops that, Cortland Sutton, we pay you this money. You need to play better. You need to play better. Troy Franklin catches the balls. And look, if we can get Marvin Mims back this week, that's going to be huge because he's another guy in the in the pass game and the run game that can help open up this offense as well. Just get that figured out, please. Just please get that figured out. I'm, of course, going with the Broncos here. We're going to win this game, and I think the defense is going to come up clutch. And then I think we might see the fourth quarter Broncos again this week. We're going to see him again. If we win playing ugly football, then we win playing ugly football. I'm not going to complain about wins, but if I can tell that there are some struggles and things that need to be fixed, I'm going to come out and say it. I'm always going to do that. I'm always going to be critical of this team because I know how exceptionally well they could be playing. Watching this Cowboys game, you can see how good this team can actually be. So, Broncos winning this game and covering that spread. All right, last game, Sunday Night Football. Lions at Eagles. Eagles are minus 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 46.5. I've got the Lions here. I think the Lions in the past couple of weeks have been putting up points that no other team really has. They've been so efficient on offense that it's been incredible. I mean, even in the loss to the Vikings, they put up 24 points. Commanders had 44 points. Against the Buccaneers, they put up 24. So we've seen not a ton of not a ton of like primetime games from as late as much as we did, last year with the Lions. But I think we're starting to get a good dose of that. They're still first in the NFC North. I think they're gonna kill them. I think they're gonna kill them. I think this. I think the Eagles aren't going to look as good passing the ball. You had the ugly game Monday Night Football that I waited to record the pod for, and then it sucked. So that sucked. But I'm here. I'm big on the. I'm big on Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs I've said it, he's one of the best running backs in the league. He's up there with Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor's on a whole different level than him, but he's that second tier right there right now. So, look, are the Eagles going to be very competitive in the passing game? That's the big question because they haven't, it's outside of Devontae Smith, they haven't really been great. Are we going to see A.J. Brown get involved a little bit more? I think if we see him get involved a little bit more against a Lions defense that has been injured a lot this year and not as consistent, you can have some success there. But what we've seen a lot from the Eagles is they just try to establish the run a lot, which you have Saquon Barkley, so I don't fault you for that. But you need to play kind of get a better rhythm going here if you're going to want to win games like that and establish a balanced offense, because right now that offense is not very balanced. 90% of the time, I'm going to say they're going to run the ball instead of throw the ball, and neither have been very efficient. They haven't blown, the stats haven't blown me away with them this year as it was last year, and I think that's part of the changing offensive coordinators and things like that. But you got to play better. You do, and I mean injuries on the offensive line definitely affect that as well too. But I'm just really high on the Lions. I think the Lions are just playing really good football, and I think they win this game, and I think it's gonna be a close one, but I think they definitely win this game. This is a really good Sunday Night Football game. All right, everybody, that is the episode. I appreciate all y'all listening. I told y'all we were gonna have a lot of NFL. I'm excited for the NFL this week. The NFL games this weekend are gonna be awesome. I appreciate everybody listening. As always, gonna have another great weekend of watching football, winning your bets, and as always, enjoy the football.